How's about that for being on time? Welcome, folks, to the Twin Sons Foundation fundraiser. It is that time once again to give to the best charity there ever was. And this is the best thing for EU fans. Hi, folks. I'm Matt. With me is President of the Twin Sons Foundation, Brian. Brian, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And then, of course, the Vice Presidente, Dylan. Are you treasurer? I forgot.
I'm
Yes.
both.
Oh, okay. There you go. He has the power. So there you go. About the only person we're missing is Amelia. I'm guessing she's going to hide behind the "I've got a little child I've got to take care of" excuse.
Dude, I didn't get to tell him this time.
Yes. Hold on. Let me pull up our chat because I believe she said exactly those words.
Pretty much.
I know she did. I know she did. Of course.
But let me not misquote her. Okay. Let's see here. I'll probably be getting the baby to bed. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Deuces. There you go. Anyway, where we're at. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for coming in and watching. We're at $150 short of our fundraiser here. It is books that are going to children. Do we know the destination yet?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Children's
go ahead.
Hospital of Orange County. This is our second donation event at Children's Hospital of Orange County. Technically, they were the first children's hospital we had a fundraiser for. We had donated to a couple children's hospitals prior to that, but those were a part of the Star Wars celebration, the books we received there. Children's Hospital Orange County was the first one that we actually set out a fundraiser to do, and we actually brought books to them back in 2017. So it's been a good minute.
Yeah, they're overdue. We'll put it that way.
There
Well,
you go.
the reason we held off for so long was because the first time we went there, we brought 288 Star Wars books, and Travis and I rapidly figured out that was way too many books for a children's hospital.
Roughly
gave out
6
20.
years worth.
So we had to hold off and let them, go through their old stock of Star Wars books before we could come back with more.
Awesome. And folks, it's a great cause. 150 short. That means 15 people donate $10. We're there. If half that number donate 20, if 7 donate $20, we're almost there. If 3 donate 50, we've made it, and we're celebrating. I will say this about Twin Sons. This is the best thing that we can do for fans, because also you're getting books into children's hands who are avid readers. They love Star Wars. Their eyes light up. I've been involved with a couple of donations myself, and everyone gets excited when these come in the door. Everyone's reading. They're reading the good stuff. I noticed something because, and by the way, Brian, on the last order you gave me, it was like an all-star lineup. I mean, it was one solid book after the rest of them. And
we're trying to hook those kids on those books.
I know,
we want to give them the best ones we can.
That we had, and they each had the Legends banner on it. And I know a lot of people don't like the Legends banner, but to me, in fact, I said this to a kid when I was there. He's like, so he said he talked to me. He saw some book in Books a Million. He said the name, and it was one I didn't know. I said, okay, that's the new canon. And that's the difference. So he said, but these are the old canon. Yes, and that one's better, right? And I went, yes, it is. He went, so how can I tell the difference? I went, you see this banner? He said, yeah, it's Legends. So that's the story I should follow. I went, this is like a seal of excellence. So when it has, now, of course, I am a little liar when I talk about Planet of Twilight with the Legends banner on it or Crystal Star, but it doesn't matter. But I said, this is the seal of excellence. And so, and it really is. And so, and Amazon Smile is gone, so we don't have that. So anything you can, guys, you can donate $10, you can donate 20, and we can get this. We're giving live updates on how that comes, how that comes up. So I know we can do it because we've done this before. This is actually the lowest goal we've ever had to achieve.
Yeah,
okay, so
nice.
Yeah, this is nice to do. It's not the 800 or the 850 or the whopping 2,700 or whatever it was. We did that once. Woo!
Yeah, we've hit some pretty high highs out there to get things done. But,
we have. This one's just 150, folks, and like I said, it's for a great cause. It's for a great cause. You can throw $20 their way. Go to twin-sons.net. Go ahead, put in the donation. We're ready for you. That's why we're here. But like I said, this is the best. And I will tell you this. I don't want to speak out of turn, so they're going to correct me here. But Twin Sons is looking for other donation areas. If you know of a place that, hey, you know what? This would be a good place too. If you live in a major metropolitan area or some or surrounding area,
Well,
they'd
one
be
thing we
interested.
did
Go ahead.
last year is we donated directly to the 501st Garrison in the area, sent the books to them, and they took it to the hospital that was in the area, because Twin Sons doesn't have a lot of volunteers in various places, so we're not as spread out as some of these other organizations we've worked with before. And we figured we could potentially in the future use their network to help us get the books out to more places. And I believe in this instance, we are teaming up again with, is it the Southern California Garrison, Dylan?
Yeah, it's the Southern California Garrison. California is still on a bit of a semi-lockdown thing, so we are. When we talked to them, we were basically told that there is a 3-person max like visitor limit. So it'll be essentially me and 2 other costume members, and that'll be the entirety of the entourage to deliver these books, which isn't ideal, but it's better than nothing.
Well, the first time you guys went to the Children's Hospital of Orange County, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the one where you guys actually went room to room with them?
Yes, and they've said that we would basically do that again this time.
Awesome. Well, then 2 costume volunteers should be perfect for that.
Yes,
It
and hopefully
really
they have
should.
a cart for the books again.
That's right. But where I was going with that is the 501st is pretty much just about everywhere. So if you guys hit us up with a location we aren't currently, we can always reach out to that garrison and see if they want to team up to get some books there. So we're welcoming any suggestions you have.
Yeah, that's another one. If you have extra books, you're like saying if they're in good condition, they're in good condition. They've been kept in good condition. Of course, we want to give these kids the books in best condition as they can. You can also reach out to them, and maybe ship them directly to where they need to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We'll take any books, obviously. We actually just had one. Stevie B sent me it ended up being like 18 books in total, because he had like one of those like scholastic ones that had like the 10 books and like the 2 workbooks. He donated one of those as well as a few other books. So yeah, I dropped those off on Friday, which was a few days ago at the time of recording this.
Nice.
If you're watching this stream like in like a month or so for some reason.
Well, that was to the was it the Boys and Girls Club you did that one too?
Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club of Florida, which we've also donated to Fullerton, which we've all also donated to previously. So it was nice to go back there and give them some books and some especially some books for like the younger one, because again, that like office that they go, that like that's their main headquarter office, but it's also like it's also like they have like the main headquarters, and in like the same building as the main headquarters for all the branches in the city, there's also like one of the branches for like the kids like 6th grade and under. So it was nice, and they were like, oh, we can actually keep these here. We don't have to send them to the high schoolers again.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great getting these books out there. And I know, Matt, you felt it, and I know Dylan's felt it, but whenever you get these things donated in person, it's a special feeling. It's the one thing I wish we could convey to everybody who donates to this and helps us spread the word on it is that feeling. And it's just not really, it's not an easy thing to convey. I mean, there are restrictions, of course, on what we can actually, take pictures of and whatnot when it comes to the patients. But even then, you still aren't going to get the full emotional value of what your donation is actually doing here too. And then, of course, it's Star Wars. We all want to support Star Wars. And, it's also, getting these kids into reading, if they aren't already.
Exactly. And this is something that it encourages kids reading. It gets them motivated. There are so many people out there who I know have had the story where Star Wars was one of the first things that got them into reading.
Mm-hmm.
It got them into. I mean, of course,
Guilty.
Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy from Super Chainsaw Productions had the same story too. He just wasn't a reader, and then Star Wars came around. This is something that can get kids into reading too. So I mean, it's like a good cause for that as well.
Yeah.
And But yeah, I definitely agree. It's just such a great thing. I'm going to share. I'd like to share the. Or do y'all want to share the website and some of the event photos that are up there?
Yeah,
Do
I
you want
have.
to do
I
that?
actually just had those.
Oh, okay. Put here, share it, and we'll pull it up, and you can kind of talk to it because I see the people packing out these little libraries with these books. I'm going, oh, if that was in my little library, it'd be gone. It'd be gone. I'd take it in a heartbeat. So I absolutely love it. Okay, here we go. So what are we
So
seeing here, Dylan?
this is from the first time I went to Children's Hospital of Orange County. This is the cart that we used to transport the books from room to
Those are
room.
milk cartons that you had to use. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this was we filled 7 milk cartons worth of books. I think we got like about 40 books. Here's a here's them in my car. What they look like all stacked up. So this is just we will never donate this many books again because again this
To
was
one
way
location.
to one location because this was way too many books for one location, and it's
Wow,
why
that
we
is a lot.
200 and this is what 287 books looks like.
So
Actually,
question
this isn't
question for you,
287
Dylan.
because yeah.
Was the back of your car hitting the ground as you were driving that down, or?
Uh, um, where? Nope, that's from Phoenix.
Yeah, that's my car.
Wow, look at that.
This is from Phoenix. Why doesn't it let me?
And
Oh,
see,
that was a
it
fun.
makes it even more special when the 501st, who's actually been a partner with us for a while now,
There we go.
they've teamed up and they come in with all their costumes and everything. It just makes it more special.
Was this
That
the
was
one where Travis
yes,
handed
yes.
the Kylo Ren the Revan book?
So yeah, this you might not be able to see it, but Kylo Ren is in fact holding the Old Republic Revan in his hand. That was Travis's idea. Uh,
Travis is a huge Revan fan too, so it was just
this
perfect.
is Travis, by the way. Yeah, these
That's
are all the
awesome.
volunteers. Actually, I forget his name, but he actually works for the hospital.
See, that's perfect.
So and he told us that. So he is going to. I'm almost certain that he'll be a part of this entourage. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we might have one other person from here that'll be again. But I know for certain he like actually worked at the hospital and he was actually one of the handlers too. Because for every like X number of costume members, they have to have like a handler with them who isn't in costume or is in like a much less like demanding costume that can
Mhm.
kind of like help them out and carry stuff for them or whatnot.
Everybody needs a supervisor.
Yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate the $20 donation that we just received. We're now $130 away from hitting our goal. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Speaking
Thank
of,
you for the $20 there. And again, folks, if you haven't already, donate tonight. Donate tonight. Looking for 6 more people to donate $20, and we're almost there. Or we could have 13 people donate 10 and be there.
Mhm.
So
so
let's go ahead and get to that. But go
so
ahead,
Brian,
Bill.
I'll let you explain this one.
So this is a donation. I think was this our very first donation? I
This
think it
is
was
this is the
original.
this
This
is
is
the
our original very first donation. This was actually before Twin Suns was a thing. The first
Oh,
billboard project, when Give Us Legends was behind everything, and we were putting that up. We actually went over the goal of what we needed to buy that billboard, and we said, "Hey, let's just put those excess funds into donating some books somewhere." And this location is the Dobson Ranch Library. It's actually the library that not only where I found my first Star Wars novel, but I also worked there for a time as a simple library page back in my early college days. And so, because I had some connections there, I figured it would be a good place to try and donate some books to. They had none of these on their stacks. I was shocked, and we were able to donate all of them there. They kept them all in the collection for a time. I don't know if they're still there because this was what 9 years ago, almost a
yeah
while
20
ago.
April April 29th, 2016.
Right.
it's funny because it only takes one person to be walking that they thought about Star Wars. I've had so many people recently on my channel that have thanked me for the channel. They just found it. They kind of got out of when Disney took over. They're like, you know what, I'm done. And they didn't know people were talking about the expanded universe. They found my channel. Like, you know what, you kind of motivated me again. You got me feeling the good juju going again for expanded universe. I kind of want to read through these again or whatnot. And yeah, I love your excitement. I love your enthusiasm. Well, guess what? You honestly, you can spark that fire tonight by giving a donation to Twin Suns. making, and this is a book drive. All this money goes to the books. It goes to the books. Doesn't go to the pockets to Dylan and Brian. They order X amount of books, and so it goes all to them, and they're ordering the good stuff too. And all it takes is for that order to make it into those areas, and one kid to pick it up and go, I'm going to read this and go, ooh, I want more. So
we do
I
take
mean, it's just a great
suggestions
way
on
to
which
hook
books
up
we
and
donate
just
to.
show people more about the expanded universe. I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, you're good. I cut into you. I was saying that we do take suggestions on which books to donate. We obviously have a list of what we usually like to donate. But every once in a while, somebody will donate far more than they should be, and we'll say, "Okay, you get to pick something we're donating. You can't just donate that much and not expect some say in this."
Exactly. And but yeah, no, that's really awesome. What other pictures we got, Dylan?
Okay, so this one also, our technically this was our first ever donation to a hospital.
Yes, this was in
This
Orlando,
was
was it not?
Yes, this was the Florida Hospital for Children in Orlando, which I think is a Disney-run hospital, or it might be independent. I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't
It's
at
all
this
in that
one.
area.
This was you and Bill, I believe.
That's right. So this is one of our more simple ones. Twin Sons, when we've gotten invited to go to represent ourselves over in the Star Wars celebrations, we like to try and collect books there to donate to a local children's hospital in the area, kind of as a thank you to the host city, more or less, for bringing the Star Wars convention there. And that was the first one we did. We did this one in Orlando. This was after Celebration was 4 days that day, that year, right? That was
Yeah.
4 days, and I think this was that Sunday afternoon. It might have been that Sunday afternoon or the following Monday. I can't remember now, but
I think it was Monday. After.
Was it the Monday? Because I think it was only Bill and I that were there at that point. And yeah, we just organized. We contacted the hospital, said, "Hey, this is what we're doing while we're in this convention, and we'd like to bring the books to you to donate." I don't remember how many we had, but we took donations of all kinds, and we were actually kind of surprised how many we got, given the fact that we didn't announce ahead of time that we were going to be doing this at our first convention appearance. And yeah, it was actually fairly successful. We didn't overwhelm the hospital with a bunch of books like we did at Children's Hospital Orange County, but it was good. It was good. We donated pretty much every Star Wars book that we had. I don't think anything wasn't able to get in there, which was nice because the hospitals tend to take only new books. They don't like to take anything that's used due to the possible contaminants that are involved. They don't want anybody getting sick from already being sick. So we have to buy those new. Obviously, we actually wipe them down with Clorox wipes and everything before they get donated. But yeah, it was one of those things. It's a great feeling. We didn't actually get to go into the kids or anything, but we got to drop them off up front, and some very thankful people came out to say, hi, and they really appreciated the donation. So it wasn't quite the same as taking it straight to the kids, but it still wasn't a bad thing because they got to where they needed to go.
Yep.
Into the hands of those kids.
Bit of a closer look. This was also there was some really nice stuff that got donated to us.
I know. I was like, oh man, can you donate to that to my library?
Both celebrations we had at both celebrations. Anytime, and even Red Network sometimes we appreciate it, right? But can you guys please do your research a little bit before you start sending books to us? Because we had some pretty valuable stuff that we were like, can we donate this?
What was it? There was a compendium of, what was it, the Dark Empire comics?
I think so.
Donated? Which was crazy. That was like, all right, let's just give you this, $100 book to donate. I'm like, I would love to put that in my collection, but apparently we're going to go take this to the hospital now.
Exactly.
Bill, keep me honest. This thing's going to the hospital.
Watch me on this. I don't trust myself.
So there's actually a second part to the celebration in Orlando, because we actually hit more than our goal. And last time, like always, when we hit more than our goal, everything goes towards books. So
so this was the fundraiser we did to supply our fan table.
Yeah.
We hit more than our goal.
This is my countertop, which is where I take photos of the books we get. This is roughly speaking how much extra we made in books from that fundraiser that ended up going to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. They actually have a program where they give kids one book a day. We were actually supposed to originally, prior to COVID hits, we were in the talks with them to do a fundraiser in the summer of 2020, and obviously that fell through because of COVID. But
Yeah, unfortunate timing, but you
Yeah.
know, what are you gonna do? We did just get another $20 donation, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We are
very
now
nice.
$110 away from hitting our goal. Awesome.
It's excellent. So now I only need 11 people to give $10 or 5 people to give 20, and we're almost there, folks. So let's see that. Let's get this done. Let's get this thing funded tonight. This is a great cause. And I want to show something, Dylan, if you'll stop sharing for just one moment. I'm going to let people know that this just in. Oh, no, here, I'll stop selling. Hold on. There you go. This just in. There may be a people's choice of what we'll have as a reward if it funds in the next 5 minutes. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but this just in that may happen. One of these three things. Either Chris releases Escape from Daggoo. I mean, this is insane. You know, he's had it the whole time in his collection. But I just got word that he may be releasing Escape from Daggoo, or Dylan's going to send you a piece of his couch. You know, I mean, it could happen. It could happen with a $50 donation. You could own a piece of history, even
That's
the warm
tempting.
part that he's sitting under. He may pinch off a piece and give it to you, send it to you in the mail, no cost to you. And you have to pay for shipping. That may happen.
Dylan, just a quick question before you go with this last one, because I knew you were going there.
Go ahead.
How much more are we able to donate, Dylan, as the board members? Are we our limit or no?
Sure.
They want some couch. Or Brian's going to reveal the location of his copy of Queen's Gambit for everyone to come get. I'm not guaranteeing any of these, but I'm just saying rumor has hit my ear that one of these three things may be a possibility within the next 5 minutes.
Look, if the last one
just what I
happens,
hear.
I am not revealing a thing about the
Well, no.
security around this.
See, I think Small Time's onto something. Matt, you need to go one too. So if we hit it, you also could do an interview with Karen Travis.
In the next 3 minutes, I'll email her. I promise you that.
Oh, you'll email her. Yeah,
after
cop out.
After she wants to interview. It's kind of fun, quick though. But I will email her. I'll email her. I will.
Right, well, I'm going to watch that meter like a hawk.
Hold on. Let me let everyone know that I did email an author recently. I did not get a response. I was kind of disappointed. It's not a big author. In fact, it's someone who wrote some unpublished stuff, not Bill Dietz, because he would write me back. But it was someone else, and I was really hoping to nail an interview down with him. And Marcel, if you're on this one, you know who that is. But unfortunately, still no response. This is over a week now, so I guess there's zero. But I wish there would have been some response. Like, hey, thank you, but no thank you. Since I never wrote that, I don't want to talk about it. I wish there'd be a little bit like that. But yeah, sure. Why not? Screw it. I'll email Dave Filoni if I have to. All right, so what do we – oh, wait a minute. Let me think about that before I say it. Okay, what are we looking at here?
So this is a two-parter. This is all the books that we donated in 2018 to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. This is the one, Brian, you talked about it in your recent interview with Stevie B.
Yes.
That Bill went out of his way, drove 400, shade under 400 miles, which is 600 kilometers, to make this donation happen.
And this was the original 501st group, I believe, that we met that gave us the idea of teaming up with them in Celebration Orlando. And we just had nobody in this area. So Bill made it happen. And that was awesome.
Extremely awesome.
And then this was a great one.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So another one you talked about that they donated, these on the left, these are all action figures that got donated at the same time. So we had this table set up in that room, that like playroom basically. You can see there's like a mini kitchen back there, and then they have like air hockey table, some games and stuff. And we just got to sit there and pass out books and action figures. And again, like these are like early 2000s, like at the time of like the prequels coming out.
Yeah, that may even be
just
late 90s. Some of that.
I'm just
glad there were eyes on me, because again, this is one of those. Wow, Where can I get this stuff?
Wow.
There was the Coyote Mundi with like Mace Windu's lightsaber, right? That error that they had to make a short story to explain. That was one of those figures was in this pile, and that someone just donated. Like unheard of.
Speaking of someone just donating, it looks like we received another $30 from somebody this time. We really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
someone
Thank you
wants
so
a piece
much.
of that couch, that sweet Dylan couch.
We are only $80 away from our goal
So
now.
there
That
you
is
go.
amazing.
$80. I need 8 people donating 10 or 4 donating 20. Let's do this, folks. Let's fund this tonight. Let's get this started. Thank you so much. That was Scott, by the way, who donated.
Really appreciate that. Thank you, Scott.
So thank you so much.
Scott.
I think everyone should follow the lead. You got $10. I know you got $10. You may even have 20. This is the time to donate it. This is the time to donate it. This is the good cause. You're seeing all these books here. It's going to be some fantastic stuff. Spread the word. It's getting funded tonight. We're almost there. Almost there. So close. So close right now.
So this wasn't the most recent one we've done at the Boys and Girls Club of Fullerton. This was the previous one. When you got there, dumped off. I think this was about 40-ish books.
Which is actually the size of our typical hospital donation, is around that 40 books mark.
Yeah. And then there's this one. Yes, this is part of our second celebration. So these were a bunch of extra books that we had gotten that for one reason or another, like again, the Children's Hospital of Chicago, I forget what it was actually called. They had a stipulation that they had to be new books. So any books that we got that we consider were like in new condition or like basically mint condition went there. But we also got a bunch of books that you can see here that are in like not used, like definitely used condition. So these all
nice. Yeah. Okay. I remember this now.
Yeah. So these all Ryan, son of Luke on YouTube. If you are subscribed to him, he actually took these to the Northwest Junior High School in Crowville, Iowa. So this is all of those. I believe he actually split them up. I think there is another.
There was a second donation, and I'm trying to remember where it was because he was unable to take them all to one location.
Here they are. It's the Clear Creek Monia Middle School in Tiffin, Iowa. He's from Iowa.
Those some Brian Daly original hardbacks in there.
Yeah. Like we said, I mean, some people just donate some really amazing stuff to this donation events. Like it's crazy. And these are the ones that came from the celebration events that we went to. I was sick as a dog on that one, by the way.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So you may be wondering, why are these in Ziploc baggies? The hospital requested that all the new books be put into like sealed in Ziploc or like in bags. So before we can send them to them. So yeah, all of the new books that we could seal off in bags. I think if you were wondering, we had these Ziploc bags. I think my mom bought a whole bunch of Ziploc bags.
That's right.
She was she lives in the Chicago area, so she was a big help at getting stuff for the table and all that. Yeah, got a bunch of Ziploc bags that we can shove books into as we were getting them.
Yep, and we had to wipe all anything I touched had to get wiped down a second time.
I want to give an update now. You had 2 more donations, I believe.
Oh, did we?
Yes, I believe so. You can double check that.
Yeah, it looks like we did. You're right. Go for it.
Yeah. So now we're down to $50 left. That's 5 people donating $10 each. That's 2 people donating 20 to this right there. Thank you for everyone who's donating. This is great. If you're trying to wait for the last minute and be that hero that gets it, here's the deal. They can't accept more than the actual fund. They can accept a little bit more, but they can't accept too much more. They can only, because they've got other fundraisers they may be planning to do, and they have to have Brian, can you explain this better than I can? Because I remember in the past, everyone likes to hold on to the last minute. But they couldn't accept some of those donations because...
So
go ahead.
It depends on what our overall goal for the year is. If we get above a certain amount for the year, we end up having to spend a lot more money in just filing tax information, all that fun stuff for the IRS. Not a huge risk in this particular fundraiser, but it is still a potential issue for us depending on where it goes, because we still have to figure out where those funds go. Matt's right. We don't pocket any of this, so it'll probably just end up sitting in the bank account for the foundation until we get our next fundraiser put together. And
Yeah.
what it will likely ultimately end up doing is lowering the next goal even further, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so yeah, so we're just trying to meet this goal, and then like I said, if you're trying to be a last minute hero, then we're gonna have to wait and start over again for the next one. But I do want it funded tonight. I do think this is great. This is great stuff you're showing us. What is this wheel I see in the background?
Okay,
You get to spin a wheel and get a piece of Dylan or his couch or a book.
In a way, yeah, get a piece of Dylan.
so I bought
great.
this wheel. I bought this wheel so we could use it at celebration, but we've never since I bought this wheel, we never got to go to a celebration. But this is our second donation at the Tenderloin Recreation Center, which is up in San Francisco. And this one, we were part of their Halloween event. That's what the Halloween decoration.
How long was that drive, by the way? That was the one I talked about where you drove like a huge distance just to get to it.
I woke up at 3 a.m. I went to sleep at midnight.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That was the night after, by the way, we did that other telethon donation for the second billboard.
Yep.
And I had to be like, I have to go to bed. I have a like 7-hour drive tomorrow.
I want to tell a story because when that first one that we did, or the second one that we did, the big run we made, it was about halfway here. Let me close this in so everyone can see us a little bit better. We'll bring that up in a minute. It was about halfway into the thing. We kind of slowed it. We were getting almost exactly half of the donations every week. So our biggest week was the first week. Second biggest was the second week, and then the third week, and then fourth week. And at this goal, we were going to kind of slow down. And I believe Brian, we were talking, or Dylan may have been in on it too. I can't remember. We were talking.
Dylan was on that too.
Yeah, let's do
a little bit too late.
And I was like, let's do a stream and see if we can kickstart some, get another. We weren't even expecting it to fund. We were expecting to, kind of kickstart the funds going so that we could get the we could get the goals moving again, the needle moving again, people getting excited because it's getting closer. And like this one's only $50 away now. We started the evening at $185, got a few early donations before the stream started, and now we're down to 50. This is great, folks. Please give right now. Go to www.twin-sons.net. Right there below, donate. $50 left to go. Let's do this. Let's go. But anyway, so I said, let's do this fundraiser. So we did, and it got to be, things started moving, and I was like, okay, we're going to end it after 400 or 600, whatever the goal was. I can't remember. And we got there. I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'll go on for 50 minutes. Then we got another 100. I was like, you know what? I'll keep going. I don't care. And then we kept going, getting more and more and more. And it started rolling into 1,500, 2,000, 22. And I remember you had to call someone, Brian, I can't remember who, to wake them up, say, hey, turn it off. We're overfunding this, and we're going to get the
that was a huge risk, because at that point we were getting close. I believe the number is $10,000 for the year. If you raise more than that, you're in trouble. Like, you have to do extra filing.
You were hitting very dangerously close,
and it was to the point where I think it costs something like several $100s just to file at that point, because normally it doesn't cost anything to file for the IRS side of things, at least every year, if we're under that 10,000. But if it goes above that, it actually costs us more money to do filing. It's like, all right, that's coming out of my pocket if we don't stop this thing.
Yeah, that's great. And as we're speaking, I believe we got another $10.
Oh, did we?
Can someone check that?
Double check.
Yeah, 360.
We did.
Another 10.
Yes, we did. Awesome.
So thank you for that 10, folks. $40 away is all we got. That's 4 people donating $10. I'm doing the math for you every time. 2 people donating $20, and that's it. This is great. Thank you, Vinny. He said we got a tenner from him. Thank you so much.
Oh, awesome.
Vinny.
Thank you so much.
That very much.
Hey, Dylan, are you checking Matt's math on this? Because you're the treasurer.
Well, it's kind of simple math, so he didn't have to check it.
I don't know. I think we still better check it.
four of you watching. It is 4 of you watching. Give $10 each, and we got it. We're good. 2 of you watching. Give $20. Make it easy. Let's do it. Pay it forward. I mean, we don't get to do many great things like this, and honestly, it's if you want, it's almost like you're guaranteed to introduce a child into the Expand universe. I've seen some great kids. Actually, I'll tell a story. I can give his first name. That's all right. His name is Scout, which I thought was a really cool name. Kid's 13 years old. Brian knows what I'm talking about because Twin Sons donated some books to him. Scout's a little smaller dude. He kind of gets, picked on. He's not big at making friends. I mean, he doesn't make friends very well, whatever. And his mom said he was a big fan of mine, and and they just want to say hello. And I said, you know what? Let's plan something. This is during the pandemic. I said, let's plan something, and let's me and him just stream and talk. They said, oh my gosh, he'd love that. So well, let's do it. And so we did. This little dude's 13 years old, and he has read more expanded universe at his age than I have, and very knowledgeable, and showed me his list of stuff he has left to go. And he had so I took that list and I sent it to Brian, and we hooked him up with a ton of books. I told his mom about that was happening. I asked his mom if we could have his address, and I told her why, and she went, that would just be awesome. And that he just went nuts when he got the books in, and he was just so happy. And it's happy spot. Some people are just readers, man. They're not very good at communicating to other people, but unless it's the expanded universe. In fact, he told his mom that after he got off the stream with me, he went, I forgot to ask him all my questions. I was like, well, we'll do another one. We'll do another one. So does Twin Sons take debit or credit? Yeah, they do, don't they?
It's through PayPal.
It's through PayPal.
It's through PayPal. So if PayPal is connected,
and I think they do on PayPal. Yeah,
they do on PayPal. Yeah, of course they do, because I got my credit card through PayPal. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. So go through there. But yeah.
No, that was great. And I'm sure there are all sorts of stories that we don't hear directly, because, like I said, a lot of times these books are being handed to kids that aren't actually, able to stick around and talk or whatever, just because of their situations. But, I'm almost certain that there are a ton of stories like that we've had, and we just don't know. We probably won't know about them. But we do every once in a while hear back from the hospitals and whatnot, and a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes there. And the one thing that always sticks out to my mind is every single one of these hospitals I've talked to after the fact just thanked us so much for the smiles that brought, that the books brought, that the 501st brought with the books. It's just been, it's one of those things where you're doing something good. And it's not just even for our cause. It's you're doing something that's truly good in the world by helping us out on this.
Yeah. I know with Chalk specifically, like setting up the donation was a bit of a struggle, because our old contact that we had set up the original one for no longer worked there. So it was kind of like a couple weeks of like playing phone tag with trying to find like the right person to talk to. But once we got in contact, actually got in contact with them, and I was speaking with them, and we got in an email chain, they were like, oh yeah, we remember you guys. Thanks for wanting to do this again. Like the person who was taking over someone else's job, who was no longer there, they still remembered us. Yeah. We had 6 years on, we had that much of an impact.
It's just awesome.
And
it's awesome.
Alex, thanks for the super chat. But tonight the money needs to go to Twin Sons.
Yeah,
everyone who wants to thank. Oh, go ahead, Brian. What's that?
I was going to say third party. We actually get in trouble if we try to raise funds via third party. Lucasfilm got all upset with us when we were still very young and trying to raise funds through Indiegogo, a third party website.
Yeah, gotta go through the website here. And I will say this: anyone who appreciates my content, appreciates my channel, a great way to show appreciation, I think I say this every year, is to fund these, is to go and give money to Twin Sons Foundation. I appreciate the super chats. I don't mind that. I love it. But I do love that when we donate to these things and we get these things funded, that is good stuff for me. That's a great reward. You can say, hey, I gave $20 because I just love Matt's channel, Twin Sons. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's where I want the money to go. In fact, I want to hear 2 people say they gave $20 right now to Twin Sons, so we can hit that goal. But
you hear one person that gave us $10, so we're at $30 away now. I think we just had another 10. Is that right?
Okay, is that another 10 going? That's good then. Let's go. It's 10. It's 20. There you go.
Correction. Now it's $20 away.
Now $20. 2 people giving $10 or 1 person giving 20. What's it going to be? We're going to wrap it up. We're going to get this. We're going to hit this. It's going to be great. And then live, we're going to call Amelia. Okay. And I'm going to let Dylan call that number because she likes Dylan the best. and I don't want to be on her bad side, but I will have Dylan put her on speakerphone.
She's probably asleep.
That's why you're calling.
See, I do have her number, Dylan. I'll give it to you.
Dylan. You've got to call her. She loves you the most. You're the only one she'll pick up on and won't get mad at.
Also, I'm too afraid to. Thank you so much for Strictly Star Wars, and Lance, thank you so much for the 10 each.
That. See, there you go. So 2 more people doing $10 or 1 person doing 20 right now, and Dylan has her number on speed dial.
I don't.
So much fun. So yes. Okay, so we're going to get this funded. It's about to be funded. Please don't wait. Let's donate now. We're $20 away. That's it. We started at $185, folks. And in 40 minutes, we're down to $20. $20. That's like $40 Canadian. I'm totally kidding with you, Marcel. Anyway.
Is the exchange rate still that good?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's actually
funny. 750 euro.
Funny story about that. A lot of because Gordon's our web developer, us Australia based. A lot of the stuff revolving our website is like based in Australia, which means that we have to pay in Australian dollars, right? Technically, and like it's actually funny. I've noticed because I've kept track of this because of exchange rates. The price in Australian dollars hasn't changed, but the currency exchange from US dollars to Australian dollars has changed. So despite the fact that their prices actually stayed the same, we've been saving money over time with some of these because of the exchange rates.
Look, we're good at making every dollar stretch as much as possible, okay?
Marcel said $10 was $14.32 in Canadian. There you go. So we still got Canada. That's good. It's good to know. But I know against the euro, we're getting slaughtered, man. So.
Well, the pound for a brief minute dropped below the dollar. I remember, like I think it was a year ago.
Yeah, but anyway, so again,
that's a good comment. I like that one.
Penny. You guys don't have pennies anymore. They got rid of them.
Someone once told me, "Have you heard of the Canadian Army?" I said, "No." He said, "That's why we're that good." Yeah, so I let's get back to some of these pictures here, Dylan.
Yeah, so in the middle of explaining this is our second fundraiser for the Tenderloin Recreation Center in San Francisco. Someone earlier asked how many fundraisers we do a year. It's 2. We try to time them so that one of the book donations happens in May because that's when Star Wars Day is. That's when a whole bunch of anniversaries when it comes to Star Wars are. Because the first 6 movies all premiered in May, as did the original movie, Episode 4, on the 25th, which some people consider the actual Star Wars Day. But yeah, so we try to have one in May, and then in October, Del Rey has an unofficial holiday that used to be Star Wars Reads Day, but is now Star Wars Reads Month. So we try to have a fundraiser so that we can donate books in May and October, which means we raise money in like March, April-ish, or February, March, April-ish for the May one, and then like August, July, August, September-ish for the October one.
Right. That's roughly our playbook each year. And depending on how we see the first fundraiser do in the year, we might try to make the second one bigger or do roughly the same. But we at least try to hit 2 places every year. We'd like to increase that in the future. But we know things are a little bit tight for some people right now. So we're trying to be realistic about things.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, this was a part of their Halloween event. And I remember as part of it, I had to give out candy. So so that's what those 2 bags of candy. I think on the way, I just bought some candy so I can give out.
I think we just had a $100 donation, if I'm not mistaken. We're now at 480 out of 400.
Whoa!
Well,
Whoa! There you go. Hey. Way to go. Thank you so much.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Was that one? That was, in fact, one.
Okay. If we know who that was, let me know. But anyway, in the private chat.
I'll see if I can log in to figure that out because that's going to be crazy.
So here it is. You guys get a choice of what you want the reward to be since we funded under the hour here. Come up with some new ones here. Dylan Singh. which is very popular there. Brian watches the World Baseball Classic with Dylan.
All right, screw you,
Wait,
Matt.
that's what we're doing tonight.
It's
Go
5-4
ahead, killing
Mexico
you,
in the
Dylan.
bottom
Go
of the
ahead,
ninth
give me the
with
update.
it's 5-4 Mexico, bottom of the ninth, no outs.
And we'll make Brian watch one. Or my favorite.
Only good games. I have a YouTube channel. I don't do anything with it.
He doesn't do anything. Okay. I'm gonna start showing these.
No, I don't know that one actually.
Yes, you do. You were such a liar. You're such a liar. Dylan's such a liar. Oh man. Oh man. There's so many. So oh man, thank you folks. Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. So what do you want us to talk about? Give us your questions. I got the time. I'm happy. It's celebration time. We've done it again. Twin Sons got a fundraiser in. Let's see here.
Another ended before our goal. We still had another 11 days left on our goal, so that's really awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm just going to say the first name there. Thank you, Alex, for the final donation.
Getting
Definitely
us well
appreciate
across that finish line. We'll have to discuss internally whether we're just donating more books to the same location or if we're going to save that excess and put it towards the next donation we do.
Yeah, I think the hospital, when we talked to them, they estimated that they would have between 15 to 25 patients at the time. And I think
probably the next donation.
Yeah, we'll see. Some of it might go. We might some of it might go just to get maybe I think we were planning on doing 35 books. We may end up making that like a clean 40 or maybe 50, and then the rest of it goes to the next one. We'll discuss it, and we'll probably have an answer for you by the time that we purchase the books, which will be in a few weeks, I guess.
Yeah, pretty soon. We're ahead to go. Well, our goal was to do the actual event on May 4th, correct?
Yes.
Right. So that's we'll have to buy the book some point before then. Probably within the next couple of weeks we'll probably be doing that then.
So Michael, we actually Amelia and I did get together on a Queen's Gambit game. We had a stationary camera. I'd like to do it again with more, we can get the whole film and kind of go from board because it's a huge game.
It's a fun game though.
We actually did a playthrough for that. I would like to do another one. We did one for Sabak too, and then I want to say we did one for Epic Duels. I did one for Epic Duels. If I did one with Sabak, I had to have done one for Epic Duels.
There was Amelia. What was the one where Amelia was killing Jabba? Because she was the Hut Slayer.
Oh, we played the Jabba's Pit game. We did together. The Ewok Save the Trees.
Yes.
I'd like to do that one. Again. So yeah, there's a lot of playthroughs that I want to do for just vintage games, period. It's just that those take the longest, and I just don't have the time right now because the little babies and the big girls and everything are kind of eating away at my time. And then I do really.
Are you serious?
Ask.
Are they actually ahead or not?
Ask no.
No, they won. Bottom of the ninth, they won.
Japan won?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch Party for Ewoks Adventures. That's funny. I did think of doing, I thought about this. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the chat of doing, I don't know, calling it from a certain point of view and reviewing the movies, but giving commentary of what the EU tells us.
It's an interesting
about certain
idea.
Characters or events or things that went on during that.
That would be a good idea because that's one of those things where watching the movies, you're like, oh yeah, I remember how that ties into what they did with this story. I like that idea. It's a good idea.
And that may be something. Like I said, once the rereads are done, I thought about doing that, and then we'll do it for a holiday special. We'll do it for the Ewok movies. That'll be it.
Some people are trying to punish you in the chat there, Matt.
Not Clone War. What's this? Reread iJedi. I cannot reread it again. I've already reread it. It's yeah.
They're
Okay.
trying to start a
all right,
fight
hold on,
between
hold
us
on.
right now.
Real quick. I'm going to address it and then move on. We're gonna do baseball sometime. But here's the thing. This is why next year MLB, some of the teams are going to not join because that's ridiculous. He got hurt celebrating, and that's the thing. That's a danger of putting players in the WBC. I'm not against the WBC, but of course, as a Mets fan, this kills me that he played in a game that doesn't benefit us at all, and he's gone for the season, right, Dylan?
I don't know if he's gone for the season or not.
Yeah.
So how did you become a Mets fan, by the way? Because that's nowhere near you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up in Mississippi, and their AA team, the Jackson Mets, were right there, and so I used to watch them all the time. And so that team, a few members from that team went on to the 1986 World Series team. Like Kevin Elster started, and he started the season in Jackson, and then midway through the season moved up to AAA, and then in the postseason got the expanded roster, moved on to the team, and actually got to start. He was so good. And so watching him, I was like, oh my gosh, I watched him play baseball. And then Kevin Mitchell, Greg Jeffries, Gary Carter got injured for a short time, had to rehab in Jackson. During spring training, Mookie Wilson that year slid into second head first, shattered his eyeglasses. A piece scratched his cornea. Ooh. So he had to go down to Jackson for a few games to kind of get back into the game and get back into the season. So we got to see a bunch of big players play, and it was so much fun. And then you're watching these same players appear on the World Series, the greatest stage ever. And so that cemented me being a Mets fan, and I've suffered ever since. Dylan likes to sit there and smugly tell me how the Mets are going to fall apart every time, and he's right.
Well, the thing is, you start it. You're always the one that like initiates it, and I'm like, Matt, you got to look. It's not going to happen, okay? You're just not.
That's an interesting comment there. Red 5 Reviews. I like that idea.
And a few people are. I will do a rewatch of the Ewoks cartoons, the Droids cartoons, the Clone Wars, Dave Filoni's Clone Wars. I'll do all that too later on. I do plan on doing that. I want to do a deep dive into all the RPG material too. So there's like tons of ideas here. What's Red 5's idea?
I like it.
Oh yeah. That's what a lot of it would be. Would actually be Plagueis. And I'd probably want to have other people.
Hey, Kayla.
I'd probably like to have other people. And by the way, what between Angels in the Outfield and Field? Are you serious? Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams may be. I don't know if it's the greatest baseball movie of all time, but it's a pretty solid one. Dylan, what's the greatest baseball movie of all time? I know Sandlot. That's hard, isn't it?
Sandlot.
Sandlot is pretty solid. Sandlot's pretty. I like Sandlot. I like The Natural. I love The Perfect Game.
Growing up, I loved Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield would be my wife's favorite, but Sandlot ain't. But The Perfect.
Sandlot is better though.
I think that's just a fantastic one. And then there's other ones. Mr. 3000 is fun. Bernie Mac, right? Wasn't that it? Mr. 3000, yeah. What was Tom Selleck's movie called? I hope I'm not confusing those two. Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball was in it.
Mr. Baseball was his. The Slugger's Wife. I think I've seen that. It was not that good. You know what? Off the Black. Nick Nolte. Actually pretty decent. Moneyball was good. That's a good one. Let me see if I have Off the Black. I think I watched that recently. It's about. No, I don't have it here. It's about. Well, hold on. Let me see if my buddy has it. He probably has it on his thing here. It's about an umpire who calls a strike and ends a game for a pitcher who then TP rolls his yard. There it is. He has. I knew he'd have it. TP rolls his yard and then he catches him and makes him clean it up every day. Well, the umpire is kind of a miserable human being. The pitcher kind of gets to know the umpire, and they become friends. And it's actually a pretty. And every night, he doesn't know this, but the umpire, well, not every night, but after every game, he gets the big VHS recorder, because this thing was made back in, what was the year? 2006. So he has that big recorder still, and he's recording his commentary on the game. It's actually not a bad movie. Bad News Bears. Yep. League of Their Own is good. Haven't seen League of Their Own in forever.
That is a good one. I have not seen that one in a long time either.
Scott signed it as a Tally fan. That's funny. DS9, the baseball episode, I have to admit, is one of the best episodes ever in Star Trek. I mean, I love baseball, but it really is. It's so funny. I don't know if anyone's seen this. If y'all are y'all Trek fans?
No.
Okay.
I've seen a decent amount of Next Generation and what was it, Voyager.
So Captain Avery is a huge baseball fan, and he's always had this rivalry with this Vulcan at the Starfleet. Well, the Vulcan finds out that Captain Avery's favorite game is baseball, so he teaches his crew, Vulcan crew, how to play baseball, so that he can beat him at baseball too, because he beats Avery at everything. And so Cisco, I'm sorry, is the actor's name Avery? I'm getting them mixed up. So he tells Cisco, Avery Brooks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I knew I'd get that mixed up. Anyway, Avery Brooks is fantastic, by the way, in this. But Cisco decides to form his own baseball team. But the thing is, though, none of them really know how to play baseball. So it's kind of like they may not win. Well, one of the Vulcans hits a home run, but he misses home base. He's got to go and tag home base to have it count. And he goes, he missed the home plate. And Cisco goes, you know what that means? And then Worf, just perfect timing, goes, we kill him. And it's such a great episode because they're holding the ball, but sorry to sound racist, but all the Vulcans look the same, and they don't know which Vulcan it was that missed the base. And as they're holding the ball, one Vulcan just kind of panics and starts running toward the home plate, and they get him out. And I don't know if they win. I can't remember if they won or not, but they got him out. Either way, fantastic episode. One of my that and Trouble with Triples episode. Or I honestly go back and forth because and Tim's there. Hey Tim, and of course Tim knows this that they put why am I so bad at names right now? They put Dax in a original uniform from the old series, and but it is, both of those are just excellent episodes there. But anyway, here we find, what do we do? Find him and kill him. That's the line. Thank you. There.
Someone had a comment going back to Star
ahead.
Wars. Shadowhunter. Here it is. Rodius Prime. Shadowhunter or Lockdown?
Lockdown. I'm going to go Lockdown.
Really?
I love Shadowhunter. I think Shadowhunter is fantastic, but I reread Lockdown, and it is, Joe Schreiber is of course king of gore, but this one, it is that's a brutal book. That's a brutal book. Like he digs into the Wampa, and he does it. He's just grabbing for anything, intestines, whatever, and then he finds his heart and knows it's pretty strong, so he grabs both hands around it and just squeezes. And watches the Wampa just kind of eyes bulge and tongue hang out as the Wampa's still digging into his shoulders with its claws. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh!
So you're telling me this is a book we should be donating to kids?
Absolutely, absolutely. Put it in there. Actually, the next fundraiser, how about this? We'll have Dylan package a copy of Sacrifice and send it to Timothy Zahn via mail. How's about how you like them apples?
It's actually funny, coming full circle. The first time I read Lockdown, I was listening to the audiobook on my way to Arizona for that Phoenix donation. It was interesting kind of circular
there.
Wake for the drive. I mean, it's not a short drive.
Oh no!
I will say that. So you both would pick Shadowhunter.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go back and forth.
But
I'd probably go Shadowhunter.
See, I think Shadowhunter handled the character of Maul a little better. Where I don't like how Lockdown, I felt like it took the veil off Mal a little too much. I much preferred having Maul as the antagonist, where we get very limited glimpses of like his perspective on how things going, whereas having like an entire book primarily from his perspective, I didn't really like that. I preferred Maul as kind of more of like a mystery a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I didn't like Shadowhunter. I also didn't like the whole subplot with like the bomb in his heart. The whole time I'm thinking like he's a force user. He could just like remove it from his own heart, couldn't he? Like why can't he just do that? That's a thing that they can do. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But lockdown is from I understand that, but lockdown he doesn't talk that much. It's and I don't mind the brutalness of the prison. Fighting a Vong, even though it's not called a Vong, is really great too. There's just a lot of good. I just found out like man, it's a dirty, violent. I mean, just brutal. I say brutal, not violent. Just brutal book, and it shoot, it may be as bad. I mean, I love Death Troopers, but when rereading Lockdown was just really good.
Also, I remember watching your interview with Steve, and you said how like it was so agonizing to wait for New Jedi Order releases. Brian, I hate to burst your bubble. Vector Prime came out on October 5th of 1999. The Unifying Force on November 4th of 2003. That is 4 years and 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
There was a New Jedi Order book on average every hold on, I had this every 78 days. 11 you had to wait 11 weeks for a new book, okay?
It was awful.
And
this is an era. So
10
no,
and a half
you
weeks too much.
You have to understand though, this is an era where basically anything could happen. The very first book of the series killed off a very major.
I will count, and I'm not
true, Dylan, but I don't know about you guys. I would constantly go by Walmart. Why? Every once in a while, my Walmart would slip up and release it like 2 weeks because they had it, they just couldn't release it. Some idiot would put it on the bookshelf.
Oh, geez.
Like they did that with Tales from Mos Eisley.
Really?
And I saw it and I went, wait a minute, that's New EU. But for some reason, I didn't get it. I didn't get it because I was like, well, hold on, let me go check. And so I checked online, and the release date was, this is back dial-up, by the way. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not due out to another 2 weeks. And ran back, and they had already pulled it from the shelf. I was like, man, if I could have made it there. But then I pouted for 2 weeks because I could have bought it 2 weeks earlier. It's funny because board game wise, I got a game that's not supposed to be due out till April 7th. Someone screwed up and put it out March 1st. Ooh. And I bought it real quick and got it. And you better believe I put out that review immediately and played it. But I'm so excited that I've gotten to play it and no one else, not many other people have. There's a few people who bought it too at that price. But it's always special to get that book a little bit or get that book or whatever in a little bit earlier because there's so many great great books and New Jedi Order was one of those where the moment it came out, devoured.
Yeah. Oh devoured. Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
It was, but yeah, at that point in time, everything was Bantam books up until then. And we kind of knew how the Bantam books would go every time, but the New Jedi Order, nothing was safe. You didn't know what was going to happen.
In fact, when I bought Vector Prime, I remember I bought it late. It had already come out. And I bought it, and it was right before my graduation, like December or whatever, early December. And I remember I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read this book during graduation, and I did. And so I opened up the book during the college graduation, and I sat there and just read it. And my mom was waving at me. I waved at her and then showed her the book, and she went, like, why? Because I didn't want to walk. But since mom and dad were like, you know what? We kind of paid for some of that college, so you're going to walk. And I was like, all right, fine. And I brought a book and I read it. And I remember having a great time reading the book. I don't know a thing about what the lieutenant governor said at the time. I remember who it was, but I was like, you know what? I went up there.
You knew your priorities.
I went up there.
Politics or Star Wars? Definitely Star Wars.
Yeah, let's see. Was almost made to an anime series. Yeah, Kevin J. Anderson would talk about that. to people who were really a fan. I remember when Young Jedi Knight's Heir to the Force came out, I had no idea that book was even going to be released. I bought it, looked at it. I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Whoa, what is it?" Jason and Jen are adults at the Jedi Academy, and I was like, "Oh!" And I remember running to Bruce, who was a freshman or sophomore in college. I can't remember back then. And I said, "What is this?" He went, "Dude, where'd you get that?" I said, "What is this?" He went, "Oh, is it new?" I said, "It's new EU." I said, "Well, I didn't say EU. I said, it's new Star Wars. It's new Star Wars." He said, "Where'd you find it?" I said, "I found it at Walmart." He went, "Let's go get one." I said, "Okay, you want to get one? Yeah, let's go get one." And he said, "What is that?" I said, "I don't know. I've never seen this. I didn't know it was coming out." We were like all excited that Young Jedi Knights was out, and it was excellent. It was excellent. I was like just beside myself with joy when that first one. But I remember immediately when that one came out. I remember when most of these books came out and how excited I was. I remember when Jedi Apprentice came out, and they're right. I bought the first one because it said Dave Wolverton. Mm. And I was like, let's see what he's got. I didn't know who Jude Watson was. I know she wrote book 2. I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot. But man, I was hooked. I was hooked. And I was like, man, whoever they got to write, because at first I was like, well, Dave Wolverton may come back. I was thinking that he was going to alternate in between. No, he was just there to be the start off hitter, to make people like me buy the book. And then Jude Watson carried it from there. And she did fantastic. I mean, like those things came out every couple of months too. And oh man, I could not wait for the next one. I was just shocked at how good the children's books were. But I remember reading in 1997, I read The Galaxy of Fear, I think the first 2 books, while waiting in line to see either A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back. The 1997 re-release.
Sounds like a good use of time to me.
But we sat in line because back then it was first come, first serve on tickets.
All right.
And seats. And sitting in line to buy the tickets, I was able to read both short stories because it took a couple of hours, or short little books. And man, I loved it. Loved every minute of it. So much fun. Like I said, most of the Brian Daly trilogy. I remember sitting underneath a tree in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when my buddy was sitting in for an interview. I finished the last chapter and looked up, and he was walking up to me. He went, "Dude, I'm sorry I was so long." I was like, "No, man, perfect time." And I just finished this book. And that was back before, cell phones and wireless internet. So after that, I probably would have been bored. But I finished the book right on time. But yeah, like a lot of these books, I distinctly remember where I was. I was upstairs in my room reading Children of the Jedi and being so happy when Callista was alive and well, and being so sad and confused and pissed off after reading the end of Planet of Twilight. So, I remember thinking how Darksaber was awesome. The Wampa scene. I was like, man, this is just like Aliens, the movie.
Purely EU characters, because I think that's the best send. Like, if we're talking about the post Jedi story specifically, Crucible is like, it's a very flawed novel, but the ending of the big 3 basically going, "We're retired, it's it, we're done, we're not gonna do stuff. It's like, it's on you guys now to carry on the story." I think that's how you do it, right? Like, they could be around, like they might show for like a chapter or 2, but they're not like the heroes of the story. It's the new generations that would like continue the legacy. That's how I would do it, right?
I think that's probably right. If you had to choose that way, it seems like a rough choice to make, though.
Yeah, I'll be honest. People keep making fun of Chuck Dendy writing the story, but here's the thing. A long time ago, Twin Sons petitioned when the pandemic was at its height. They couldn't get into children's hospitals. They couldn't get into schools. That was the most tightest locked security places during the pandemic for obvious reasons. So they went to Lucasfilm, asked them about the choice of doing some original Legends online exclusive, because a lot of kids
yes, I almost forgot about this.
And if approved, if stories like the Old Republic does, but it would be set in the Legends universe. And if approved, we had just talking. We were seriously considering asking Chuck Wendig.
Yeah, we wanted to get actual authors.
We wanted to get actual authors, but Chuck Wendig we thought would be funny since he was the one that kind of started all this when he mocked the billboard and said, you guys could have sent that to a charity. We went, you know what, let's do a charity then. And
Send it to a charity. I can make it charity.
I had completely forgotten about that when we did our. Oh man, if only we were still doing history of the EU, I should have brought that up.
That's a good point. I completely forgot about that. I mean, there are so many things I'm sure that we've forgotten that we talked about doing. Like,
well, we also talked. Well, I don't know, but I mean, like I said, delusions of grandeur here because they did eventually turn us down. But the thing is, though, if we could have, but I mean, with the petition, with the presentation, the letter that was written by Joe was really good. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of us could have said it better.
Yeah, we sent that over to. I think we sent that through Fan Relations, didn't we? I think we did.
Yeah, and
they talked to their legal department. That's right. Okay, I remember how that went now.
Yeah, but Joe had written just a bang up job with that letter. I mean, honestly, it was like really good. He said, "Tell Brian he can edit anything he wants, though." And Brian's
I was like, "Why would I edit any of this?"
This is better than all.
I mean, I could ask, and I could be, I could be all, diplomatic about it. But this thing is awesome. I can't touch this.
It was a really good plea, really honest plea. But we were thinking about what we could do, what we could put together. I mean, even with they said, hey, you only get one story a week for 1 year, and that's all we're guaranteeing you. I guarantee you, every 52 stories would have counted, and we would have. I would have stored up extra. Just in case with a bunch of other authors, just so we could release all the unpublished stuff that we couldn't do too. So we were thinking, I was thinking, I know Dylan and I talked about arcs that you could cover in a short story, or like, I can't remember whose idea it was, but have an author write in pieces. So it almost feels like a book after a while. And each one of these authors could donate, for instance, for charity. I think a lot of them would donate a short story. And then even get some other people to write some fiction too, some people with some good writing skills and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I was definitely looking forward to, a return to Endor. Which?
I was going to say, where's it at?
It's right here. Did you find
it? You found
it. The manuscript is right. The only copy, because the zip drive I saved it on is gone.
Oh dear.
Let's see. I'll read this one. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is the opening scrawl here. A 12-year-old girl named Sindel Tatwani was on vacation with her family, traveling to the planet Anu, which she was, I believe. But while the spacecraft was in hyperspace, one of her cufflinks blew, forcing them to make an emergency landing on the planet Endor. After landing on the planet, Sindel's parents were captured by a giant Gorax, but were able to free them thanks to the heroic efforts of her new friends, the Ewoks. Sindel and her family stayed with the Ewoks for the next several weeks, making repairs to their ship. But before it got fixed, the Ewok village was attacked by a group of stranded space marauders, which killed Sindel's family and captured the Ewoks. But once again, Sindel was able to escape with her friends, the Ewok Wicked W. Warwick. And with the help of Teak and an old spacer named Noah, Sindel was able to free the Ewoks and witness the second battle for Endor, it's in quotations there, as the Ewoks sent the marauders fleeing back across the castle, to their castle across the Dune Sea. Even though I don't think the Dune Sea was on Endor, that's Tatooine. Now that I think about it. So give me a break. I wrote this back in '99. But anyway, during the battle, Noah found the remaining piece of his space cruiser that he needed, was able to take Sindel back home. But before their departure from the planet, Sindel promised Wicked she would one day come back to see him. That was 10 years ago. Now she will. ... What's going to happen? I'm telling you. Return to Endor. Look at all this stuff. So... And then I had my brother kind of edit it for me, and he's got all these things all over it. One of the top things is bad font. It says that. Oh, the font doesn't match up for some reason. Well, not like I was. But I remember I may do another Prince of the Universe on this because I'm needing an idea right before we hit 300. And the movies that we're wanting to see to review for episode 299 we can't figure out, so maybe it'll be Return to Endor as I read a few chapters of this epic novel here. But I mean, if you want to see how much work went into this, I mean, we're talking like some Ryder Wenham-esque things. Holy cow! There's an old resume in here.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, that is an old email address. Egad. When was this? 2001? 2000?
Like he's opening up a time
Okay,
capsule.
so here's the thing. Here's just a few of the notes I had. I don't know where I got all this information, but it's about all the creatures from Endor. There is over here, yeah, more creatures of Endor. I'm missing a lot then because I used to have, well, maybe it's on here, certain Ewok sayings. Like I watched the movies and tried to pronounce certain words and guess what they were saying.
Wouldn't put that past you.
But I knew I had something like that because I wanted to write down those words, but obviously I didn't save it on any of this. But I used to have a bunch more study pages on this one, and I did a huge, and I don't think I'll ever find that. I think that's lost forever. I did a huge deep dive into because I was just obsessed with the Dark Strider campaign, and I did a huge pins on a board with strings attached to them stuff.
Sure, Chris. Yes, we actually successfully funded a little while ago. We are actually at 480 last I checked out of 400. So awesome.
Yeah, so we backed it under an hour. We got it done, $185. Thanks to all the good fans here. Really appreciate that. You guys are awesome as always. This is a great cause here, and I'm so happy that we could do this one. Anything else? Anything else to add?
For the moment, no, that was everything as far as Twin Sons goes. We really appreciate it. We'll be purchasing the books likely in the next few weeks or so. And like I said, the event we have currently scheduled for May 4th, and we'll be teaming up with the 501st again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And folks,
probably,
go ahead.
Yeah, probably see either late May 4th or probably the 5th. You'll see on social media all of the pictures of the event and an update on how it all went. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. And folks, if you haven't, remember at theexpandeduniverse.com, we're doing our best EU TV/movies votes holiday special up against the Clone Wars TV show. Who do you want to win? Pull that upset, pull that trigger, but definitely get on there and vote. We're doing update videos. I am doing most of my streaming is actually over there on the website this month. So EU March Madness, we're at the halfway point right now. There's still another mini tournament after this. Unfortunately, you're not going to see these guys here. They've got something called lives. I mean, even has a live. But I do miss my co-host Dylan and Spencer. But Spencer, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, Spencer from the Star Wars Library had his baby last Thursday.
Huge congrats to him.
So yeah, and he has a legit reason not to be on there because I can't dog these two guys because these guys ran it for me because I was ready to go and then I realized
that was fun though. It was a lot of work, but it was fun.
It starts. I have new twins coming. I can't do the streams, So I'm glad these guys pulled the weight for me last year. So I'll give Dylan a pass, just for 1 year, just for 1 year. But I do miss Dylan. Yeah, holiday special all the way. Well, anyway, thanks everyone again. Brian, Dylan, thank you not just for coming on here, but thank you for everything you do for Twin Sons. You really are the best of the EU fans.
I appreciate you bringing us on, though, Matt. You got us across the finish line once again.
There we go. All right, folks. Well, we will see you later. Y'all have a wonderful